Hi there, guys. I wanted to continue on with some of the stuff I was talking about the other day. The one I wanted to mention, which really horrified me actually, was Neville Goddard. So, manifestation teacher. I think it was the 60s and 70s around. He was around. I heard he was a dancer at some point. I remember the first time I even saw the guy's name, I felt a little weirded out. I heard his voice, I felt weirded out. Finally, even seeing his picture, there was a creeped out vibe. And there's always something, like, I listened to some of the things the guy taught. Certain things I agree with, like living in the end when you want to manifest. But there started to be techniques that directly I could feel it straight in my being that were very off. That were very, very off. And that's when, like, to give you some idea, I commented on somebody's YouTube the other day when I said they were teaching a technique of his, and I said straight up, I said, this is breaking universal law. This is straight up manipulation and abuse of power. And that is what I pretty much wanted to mention, that I'm sure I can get, maybe I'll discuss spiritual law after, because it seems to be a thing that people want to learn about law of attraction. Law of attraction is not the only law. It is not a primary law. The primary law is law of vibration. Anyways, that can be a whole other series. There are rules, universal rules, and it's laws. And universal meaning everywhere, not just this planet, everywhere. That includes astral plane, all that sort of stuff. So anyways, what really did it the other day, and it got me pretty angry actually to see something like that, that I think people, if you're in the spiritual community, should be trusting your intuition. They should just have common sense. A video, and I'll link it down below. I didn't watch the entire thing because I just kind of went, are you kidding me? Something I've noticed with some of the manifestation teachers, with certain ones, there's one thing about wanting to manifest money, there's another thing about if somebody's coming at it a place from raw greed and what that will attract to the person. And in this video, it's talking about manifesting $3 million. How Neville's top students, and he would see people getting good results and pull 10 people, and here, come into this back room and I'll show you some stuff. When it starts talking about throwing a hood over the person's head and getting them to go through a ritual like they're dying, and somebody visualizing shooting themselves in the head so that they can do this spiritual technique to get $3 million, do you not have a wake-up call that, oh my God, like something is incredibly off with this guy teaching this technique? And I can tell you right now, I drew the connection. I watched some of Gigi Young's videos, and it was like the connection I saw clear as day. I'm like, what is it with this guy? First of all, he does teachings from the Bible. Doesn't mean he is on the up and up because he teaches from the Bible. If you listen to what he says, he describes Jesus as your imagination. Jesus was a teacher, an ascended master. Jesus was a master teacher. Jesus was not your imagination. Okay, I can tell you right now, that's complete bullshit. Can we manifest with visualization? Absolutely. But saying something like that, complete bullshit. Right off the hop, I'm like, okay. And are we aspects, some of the other things he talked about? Yes, we are aspects of God, aspects of Source. So there is the thing of saying, like, we all connect, we all come from one source. And we are co-creating with that. But he talks about manifesting a specific person, about visualizing even being married to someone, all this sort of stuff. Do you realize what an abuse of power that is? You're trying to exert your will over that person, and now using law of attraction to manipulate people with that? Through the universal law alone, you're breaking it. You're manipulating another person. You're trying to really exert your will over them. And let's say you did manage to get something to move and shift there. Do you realize how fast that would fall apart? When the person, you're not going to be able to constantly exert that on somebody. That is going to, like, completely fall apart. And then guess what? Because you put that out, what do you think is going to come back your way? It's not smart. I'm to the point I think I'm going to actually have to discuss manifestation on this channel to show people in a way of, hey, we are natural manifestors. We do not need to be trying to take or manipulate or control and abuse people to get what you want. Not only that, we do have laws, and yes, manifestation is a thing. We are natural manifestors. Higher than all of this is letting go and surrender. That is a thing. Letting go and surrender. So, what was the other one? So those were some of the ones. That was the other technique. He also did the one about exerting the will. And then there was one the other day, the one that I mentioned. I won't link her video. She definitely seems like a nice person. Even in the video that I am going to link, the guy seems like a nice guy. I'm not blaming the person at all. But it was, somebody was saying it was Neville's student, and some things she learned, she turned her life around, all this sort of stuff. That's great. I'm not saying that there isn't certain techniques that you could get results, but at what is it doing to others? What is it doing? What are you taking part in? All that sort of stuff. So, because it does come back. That's what I'm trying to express. Like even one of my teachers who directly, she was teaching on karma and things like that, but she even said that there's a lot of people that are not ready to fully know about karma. It doesn't go unchecked. That's what I'm trying to say. You can't just go and learn some energy techniques, and then do whatever you want with it. And if it was being manipulative or abusive to other people. And I'm going to discuss that even more. Even things with scripting. You can't just go and script other people's name and move and shift people like pawns thinking you can do that. Like, it's not going to work that way. And not only that, what you put out comes back. It comes back. And not only that, like, you have to be careful about intention, all this sort of stuff. Energy, you don't fool the universe, and energy doesn't lie. So with Neville, the connection I drew, and it was after watching some of Gigi stuff, but I don't know. I felt that Luciferian influence that came to me earlier, that he was very influenced. That's what I get. And I think it was his eyes in one of the things. I think it was his eyes in one of the pictures I saw for sure. I was like, oh my God. And this is the thing. I think there is a lot of people out there maybe getting into spirituality, or they don't pick up on it, or they just have an off vibe, or they just, oh no, that's a little weird, but I'll push through this and whatever. And the common I think what comes to mind is greed in this case. And I will tell a story on this channel of a guy I met that was directly related to stuff with greed and the influence I picked up on him in person, and it was horrifying what I saw with this guy. So you don't need to take from others ever, manipulate another person, be abusive with energy, any of that sort of stuff. With manifestation, it should feel fun, should feel easy, like literally, like ask and it's given, ask, believe, receive, that sort of thing, letting go, surrender. It's, like I said, come on guys, somebody is willing to throw a bag over their head and pretend that they're dying to do some energy technique to get money. Where are your priorities at? And like, who are you as a person if you've gotten to the point that you're doing that? And then it talked about, I think he talked about using trance states and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with trance states. I'm not saying that shamanism is a thing you get in trance states, but it just, excuse me, was glaring red flags that it's like, when I came across some of this before, there would be YouTube channels where some of the people really pushing some of Neville's stuff, I'm kind of going, no, I can't even say that. Because there is, there's just something very off there, and I wanted people to be aware of that. and to think for yourself. I think that is one of the biggest things. I don't care what the teaching is, your intuition is your guidance system, and that will be your soul speaking up. I don't care. Maybe this video resonates with you, maybe it doesn't. But when you have a teaching like that come along, like I have come across people that they almost seemed hit. This is weird, seriously, over the years, that they could be a manifestation teacher. Maybe they weren't, or they were teaching it in some way. And like I'd literally seen people who they almost seemed like they were hidden until they kind of poked out from under some sort of rock. This is so weird, but I saw this. And there was something so off. It just felt wrong. Something about their website, their picture, their energy was off. It wasn't a vibrant. It was almost like maybe they felt pale or sickly or something internally, or vampiric, or even reptilian. And it just did not feel heart-centered at all. You can tell, and you can pick up on this so strongly. Like, who is teaching stuff and they're very aligned with the light versus somebody who there's an influence there, something's off, like something's wrong. And it's not, you don't have to be behaving that way. You really don't. So I can see about ending it there. As far as the thing about Neville, just watch out for that. And you should never be trying, I don't care what any YouTube channel says, I really don't. If what anyone else says on this, you should not be trying to manifest a specific person. There's nothing wrong with writing a list of qualities you want. But if you are actively trying to visualize and do stuff of, nope, it's this person, this is happening between us, and you're trying to abuse power, manipulate, and exert your will over somebody, and you have no business to do that. Not at all. At all. And it's sad that people aren't checking other people that were even trying to teach stuff like that. That's, yeah. So I guess I'm going to be mentioning that because this is something that needs to be dealt with. People need to be aware. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with visualization, but when he said that, your imagination, it's Jesus and this and that, that's absolute bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Now, I'm not coming at this from a religious standpoint. Jesus was a teacher. Buddha was a teacher. These were beings that were alive. All this sort of stuff. But for him to even trying to... Yeah, I mean, it even... In not so many words, it even talks about in the Bible that, like, what you're asking for when you pray, you're going to receive, sort of thing. Ask, believe, receive. There's no reason to be using underhanded energy techniques for manifestation. I guess that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I'll probably end it there. Comments, questions down below. Just giving you a heads up. I think it's possible that there's people, especially with YouTube, even some of the things I've seen on Instagram, I won't get right into it, but there is some things being put out there that are so out in the open that are downright irresponsible to be shook. Yeah, I guess that's what I'm going to say. Yeah, comments, questions down below. Let me know what you think. Yeah, don't do it, guys. Don't do it. So just giving you a heads up on the stuff with Neville. All right, take care.